If you want to get more videos of BWTM Sports, you want to join us live in future, make sure you've hit the notification bell on your when you do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell, and you'll get to see us live each and every time with videos in your inbox. Hope you enjoy the show. So yeah, I'm back on camera so I can give you more facial expressions for this particular video. The gentleman in question is this guy. Yeah, we spoke at the other guy earlier on, which was Anthony Joshua, but now we talk about this guy. And see this guy, Tyson Fury. I've had plenty to say about Tyson Fury through the years. I think people are now listening to me a little bit more when I'm talking, or they're getting the message. They find now Tyson is contrary in what he's saying. He'll say one thing today, another thing tomorrow. Look, truth be said, and this message is for you, Tyson. This message is for you. Let me get my camera up. Right, Tyson. This message is for you. Hope you're well, champ. And I don't know what happened between yourself and Ben Davison. And frankly, I don't care. That's none of my business. You're a big man. You're old enough. You're grown enough to know the decisions you're making. I say this to you for two reasons. I say this as a fan of the sport, and then somebody who'd like to say he watches the sport, has been watching the sport for a while, and he's pretty informed, particularly in the move you've made now from leaving your former trainers, Peter Fury and Ben, and now going to Sugar Hill. Now you're a smart cat, Tyson, so you know what I'm getting at here. And I say this. I hope that you have really thought about this moving from where you are with Ben over to fight, to train with Sugar Hill. Now, this is no disrespect to Sugar Hill. I'm sure he's he's any man. Respect all trainers. I've got respect for all trainers. Some trainers are better than others. Some trainers generally are very good trainers, and then there's some trainers that are opportunists. Now, Sugar Hill, we know, is the nephew of Emmanuel Stewart, of course. Now, because you're the nephew of Emmanuel Stewart, it doesn't make you Emmanuel Stewart. You may sound like him, you may look like him, you may act like him, but it doesn't mean that you have the knowledge of an Emmanuel Stewart. And that comes over many, many years. And the key thing about Emmanuel Stewart, which a lot of the people in boxing don't know, is that Emmanuel Stewart wasn't alone. He had James Ali Bashir and many other trainers that were around Emmanuel Stewart that made Emmanuel Stewart the man he was. Emmanuel Stewart had a team around him of very experienced trainers that made Emmanuel Stewart look great. It wasn't Emmanuel Stewart by himself. Luther Burgess was one of the fighters, one of the trainers, but there are many other trainers that were behind Emmanuel Stewart to make Emmanuel Stewart look great. You just have to ask James Ali Bashir in the previous interviews I've done with James Ali Bashir to reveal that, to say how great Emmanuel Stewart was because of the team and the training team he had behind him. So that was what made Emmanuel Stewart. I'm not saying Emmanuel Stewart wasn't a good trainer himself or a great tactician, but those who are in the know that Emmanuel, for a lot of these fighters, he'd turn up 2 weeks or a week before when the camera's there, and he'd be doing all the pad work and stuff. But for the most part, there were a lot of unheralded trainers that were doing a lot of the hard work behind the scenes for those fighters, that Emmanuel Stewart got a lot of credit for. And a lot of people don't want to talk about that, but those are the facts. And anybody around Emmanuel Stewart in that time frame would be able to account for what I'm saying here. There were a lot of trainers that were not given credit for at the time. Again, I'm not taking anything away from Emmanuel Stewart, and I'm not taking anything from Sugar Hill either. You've made the decision to go to Sugar Hill. But I ask you this. and it's just from an outsider perspective looking in. First, as a fan, I'm talking from a fan here. Sugar Hill's style will be for you to engage with Deontay Wilder. He will want you to rock 'em, sock 'em, stand your ground, hold your feet, and fight with Deontay Wilder. You've been in with Deontay Wilder. You know how hard that man hits. You know how much you can take. And you know where you want to be in the sport of boxing and after the sport of boxing. I personally don't believe that there was a trainer out there now that can train you. I don't believe that. I believe you will always fight the same way. What I mean by the same way is I believe that you are Tyson Fury. And I don't believe a trainer can come along and get you in shape and all the rest of it. But technically, you are who you are. You're always going to have that herky-jerky style. You're always going to put your hands behind your back and play to the crowd. You're a showman. That's what you're going to do. I've watched your career. I've watched you when you've been, doing things and making guys miss and making them pay and look good. I've seen that. I've also seen you switch off in fights. I've seen you switch off in fights, clowning around, getting dropped. Usual pattern for you. Okay? You want to win this fight against Deontay Wilder, which means you can't switch off in the 12 rounds. You cannot. Not for 1 second. And in fights so far in your career, you've switched off. And the ones where you switched off on, you've got dropped and you've got hurt. Or the Cunningham fight, we know we've had this conversation before. My point is this. Why Sugar Hill? I'm not saying he's not a good trainer. I'm not saying that. But a guy who's going to teach you to rock 'em, sock 'em, who's going to want you to get in there and have a fight, does that really suit your style? I'm asking the question because to me, that is a road to getting yourself knocked out. Your style is not about rock 'em, sock 'em. Your style is about the sweet science of the sport. And now you're going to go to a trainer who's going to want you to rock 'em, sock 'em. And the difference between you and Adonis Stevenson is height and style. Adonis Stevenson could have done the rock 'em, sock 'em because he was a devastating one-punch knockout artist. If you carried that kind of power, if you were that kind of a puncher at elite level, yeah, maybe I'd say have a go. But you're going to a trainer now that's going to teach you to rock 'em, sock 'em. You've been dropped twice by this guy, Deontay Wilder. All the jokes aside of calling him a dosser and a basketball player, this is a dangerous time for you to be switching trainers and taking chances. To me, and it's just me, I wouldn't want the fans to be robbed of a great fight or you not to be your best because you've made a decision to leave a trainer to go to another trainer. You haven't really spent that much. I don't know how much time you spent with Sugar Hill, but ultimately, I think that if it starts to go wrong, you're going to go back to who you are. I just don't know what Sugar Hill can do for you now at this stage. Had you had 4 or 5 fights like you had with Ben, maybe so, but I don't get it. I think it's very risky stuff, and I'm just saying my concerns as a fan because I care. You understand? I care. And that's why I'm saying this video to you. So I hope you've made the right decision. I think yourself and your dad know boxing. So that's not a disrespect to either of you. It's just as a fan being concerned and where you're going to, as much as they're all going to Freddie Roach, who would guarantee to get you knocked out because he would want you to stand in front of Deontay. You stand in front of Deontay Wilder and hold your feet, there's more chance of you getting clipped and knocked out. I think the movement you show, if you look at aspects of that fight, you were able to make Deontay miss, you were able to make him pay. But, where you switched off is where you got dropped and where you got hurt and where you almost got knocked out in that 12th round. So if, that's the main thing you have to work on. Concentration for the 12 rounds. And don't get hit with that right hand. You're fine. But you increase the chances of you getting hit by you going along this what I would call a kamikaze route. I don't know how good Sugar Hill is as a trainer for you, and I don't know, where this goes from here. But all I can say, Tyson, is I wish you the very best. And whereas a lot of people say they wish you the best and don't really care where you go and think that a change is going to another trainer is gonna make a change, gonna make a difference. I don't know. Blowing up and weight and losing weight, blowing up and weight and losing weight. Surely that's gonna have effect on the body. And now the cut as well. I have concerns, but if anybody can do it in the heavyweight division, it's you, because you're cunning and you're smart, and you have what it takes to get inside of Wilder's mind. I do believe that much. For him to want to come at you again with all that anger, I believe you could do that. Wilder is a better fighter second time round, and he knows that he can drop you and he knows he can hurt you. And in the 12 rounds, you weren't able to really significantly put a dent in him. So is being lighter the answer? Is being heavy the answer? I don't know. And is Sugar Hill the answer? I don't know. Obviously, you know more than I do. All I can say is I wish you the very best in this journey. I really do. But for me, if I were going to say anything, if I was going to suggest anybody to you in terms of your style and how you fight, you're probably doing better being with the Ingles because of your style, or tell a lie, even Adam Booth would have been better for you because of Booth's herky-jerky that sort of stuff probably would have suited you more. That just my scene of things. But what am I? I'm just a guy behind a keyboard that has plenty to say for himself. What do I know? But all the best, Tyson. Wish you all the very best. And I just hope that, we're not robbed of a great fight because of a miscalculation and picking the wrong trainer. Because it would be a damn shame. A damn shame. I hope the risk is worth the reward. Take care, my good friend, and all the best. See you soon.